Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. So the infamous Dino Mike Mac on Instagram comes through yet again on revealing some very interesting Jurassic World Mattel information, and he's actually revealed quite a bit of upcoming information as far as releases go. Unfortunately, there are no images, just listings on a website, but it's very interesting regardless. This information comes from a website called iMusic. I am not familiar with the website at all. However, it does have quite a bit of different listings for Jurassic World figures, and we're going to kind of go through each of the images here and show you guys what they say. The very first one here has a Jurassic World Darius, Gallimimus, Bumpy Egg, and Raptor. So that's very interesting. I'm really quite curious to see exactly what this set looks like, as those are all awfully random figures to be included together. It sounds kind of like a playset to me, but I'm very intrigued to see exactly what this is when we start to get some images of some of this stuff. The next one underneath that would be a slime set, I believe. That's nothing exciting. And then we have the Jurassic World Animation Carnotaurus down here, but since it's green, I'd imagine that figure is already available to purchase, so that's probably the Toro figure that we already have released. And then underneath that, I can't unfortunately see exactly what it says, but it does say Jurassic World Claws Double, and I don't know underneath that what it says, but I'm quite clueless as to what that is. Then as we move on, we have some assortments for the Amber collection, so I guess you can order numerous Amber collection figures all at once, as we have 4 human figures, it seems, included, and 4 dinosaur figures included, as it does say merch times 4. And then underneath that, we also have a Dino Value assortment, which includes 8 dinosaur figures apparently. And then underneath that, we have the Amber Collection, Dr. Alan Grant, which we did know was coming already. But underneath that, we then have Jurassic World 3, new large-scale featured dino assortment. And then underneath that, it says Jurassic World Juvenile T-Rex and 3 Compies, which is a very, very interesting one to me. Unfortunately, I'm thinking it's probably just going to be some more of those really small compies. I would love to see Mattel actually make, a decent compy figure, as that's one of the more notable species from the movies that just doesn't seem to get any real good figures from Mattel. Then underneath that, we have again the Amber Collection, Jurassic World Human Assortment. Pretty much exactly what we just looked at. I believe that actually might be the listing that we just looked at. This is just a different part of that page. Then we have over here, we have the Jurassic World 3 Wild Pack assortment. And I do believe the Wild Pack is basically the new attack packs. And you can see there are 6 figures included in that. And then underneath that, we have the Jurassic World Snap Squad Attitudes assortment, which is very interesting. I'm quite curious to see exactly what the Snap Squad Attitude figures are. And then underneath the Jurassic World 3 Roar Attack assortment, which we do know what some of those are, which we can actually see on this page is the Roar Attack, Baryonyx, and Ceratosaurus. But then we get to some very interesting stuff here, and one of which is a Monolophosaurus and Segway. That is really interesting. Actually, it says Kenji Monolophosaurus and Segway. I actually missed Kenji because he's kind of obscured there by that darkened area, but that's really, really interesting because that means that we have a potential playset on our hands, something that we've been really asking for quite some time, and we've all been very excited about the potential of some upcoming playsets from Mattel after they had unveiled that Dennis Nedry Dilophosaurus set, so that's something that I am very excited about. And then underneath that, we have a very surprising one, if you ask me, which would be the Jurassic World Fierce Force Gilingosaurus, and that's one that I definitely did not see coming, one I definitely didn't expect. Kind of one of those moments where it's sort of like the Seats when we had that unveiled. It's like, wow, what an obscure species for Mattel to pick out and create, and that's definitely what the feeling is that I get from that one, but not anything that I'm even remotely unhappy about. I would love to see that created by Mattel. And then on the next page, we have another one that's really quite surprising, but another very welcome figure for me, which would be the Mushikosaurus. And that's another Fierce Force figure, something that I 100% again did not expect to come from Mattel. They're really doing a good job of picking out some pretty obscure species of dinosaur and then creating them. And then underneath that, we have Jurassic World Fierce Force Sauropelta, which will be cool to see another Sauropelta figure make its rounds in the Mattel line. Underneath that, we have the Roar Attack Allosaurus, which we kind of have had a preview of already from Collect Jurassic, which I think is a really beautiful looking Allosaurus. Underneath that, we then have the Fierce Force Dilophosaurus. I'm very intrigued to see what that one looks like. And then on the next page, we have already mentioned the Roar Attack Baryonyx, which we see up there. But then as we move down, we have one that personally I am unbelievably excited about, and that is the Jurassic World Roar Attack Oranosaurus, although it's spelled incorrectly here, but an Oranosaurus from Mattel. That is incredible, although I am quite shocked to see that they would make an Oranosaurus before making a Corythosaurus, because a Corythosaurus is a species that should have been released by Mattel already, as that has actually appeared in the films, and Oranosaurus has not. But that could have been a really good spot to kind of put a Corythosaurus in and give us one finally, as we have not had one from any Jurassic World line or Jurassic Park line so far. But definitely a really exciting release regardless, as I personally am a huge fan of Oranosaurus, so I'm really psyched to see one here from the Mattel line. And then we also have a Jurassic World Ben, Bumpy, and Spear, so it's really nice to see a few different characters from the Camp Cretaceous series actually getting a release, as we definitely haven't had very many so far, so I'm really psyched to see again more Camp Cretaceous human figures. Then we have the Sound Strike Cryolophosaurus, which I'm pretty sure would have been that kind of black version of the Cryolophosaurus that we had seen, the darker version that we had seen a ways back. And then we have the Jurassic World Fierce Force Velociraptor. I'm not entirely sure which one that will be, but it's not anything that's super exciting, as we've had about 6 billion Velociraptors so far. Underneath that, we have the Jurassic World Fierce Force Gallimimus, and although we have had a lot of Gallimimus figures already, I'm always excited for another one. And then we have the Jurassic World Roar Attack Ankylosaurus as well, which I'm pretty sure we have already seen also. And then on the next page, we have another Ceratopsian up there at the top. It's hard to make out what the title of the species is there, but I believe it's the Sinoceratops, which is, I'd imagine, the repaint Sinoceratops, which actually looks like the correct color scheme, which is definitely a nice addition to the Mattel line for sure. And then as we move down here, we have the Chompin Carnotaurus, which I'm thinking that's probably, or at least potentially, going to be that kind of feeding frenzy Carnotaurus that we had unveiled recently thanks to Jurassic Outpost, but I could be wrong, who knows, it may just be another random Carnotaurus figure, but I'm thinking that's probably the figure that would be. And then the final one here just says Jurassic World Fierce Force, but it really doesn't give me any information at all as to what species that is. But regardless, that's a lot of really cool information that has just been unveiled thanks to Dino Mike Mac again. As far as upcoming Mattel figures go, that's quite a few species that were quite surprising, and a lot that I'm really excited to see. So let me know in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are on this news, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.